Namaskar and hello to everybody. So we are now coming to 17th day of Spiritual Science Doctors Retreat. So now today we have with us Dr. Annu Bangarwa. She belongs to Bhiwani in final year scholar of Bachelors of Ayurveda Medicine and Surgery from National College of Ayurveda, Barwala, Hisar, Haryana, India. She came into the meditation under the guidance of Dr. Sangeeta Nehra ma'am and started exploring the spiritual world. She is a free soul and who loves to do experiment with everything. She is much interested in photography and sports along with the academics. So today she will be sharing her views of Nobel Prize book by Daniel Kahneman, book Think Fast and Slow. So I like to invite Dr. Annu Bangarwa to share her views on this book. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Monica ma'am, for being such a good person in my life uh, as a friend, as a classmate. We are reading both in the same class. So, hello everyone. Thanks for being here. Myself, Anu Bangarwa. So, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Sangeeta Nehra ma'am for creating such a nice platform and giving me a chance to present my views on the book Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. So, as we all know, meditation, it is a practice whereas individual uses a technique such as mindfulness or focusing the mind on a particular object, thought, or activity to train attention and awareness and achieving a mental, clear, and emotionally calm and stable state. So, we all are here gathering for this opportunity to get this opportunity. Today, I am going to talk about the book Thinking Fast and Slow. Uh, so, about this book, I want to say this book is from written by the author Daniel Kahneman, international bestseller book Thinking Fast and Slow. So, I would like to tell Dr. Monica to please represent the screen. Dr. Monica, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Next slide, please. So, Daniel Kahneman is an Israeli psychologist and economist, notable for his work on the psychology of judgment and decision making, as well as behavioral economics. He was awarded the 2002 Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences. He is a great person uh, in his real life, as well as he has written this book so amazingly. His every word is so knowledgeable, so everyone must go through this book. Next one, please. So, talking about this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, this book present understanding of judgment and decision making. This book is divided into 5 parts: two systems, heuristics and biases, confidence, choices, and two cells. So this book is talking about the first part of this book. Part 1 present the basic element of a two system approach to judgment and choice. It elaborate the distinction between automatic operations of system 1 and the controlled operations of system 2, and shows how associative memory, the core of system 1, continually constructs a coherent interpretation of what is going in our world at any instant. So this author talks about two systems. We are working so wisely in our mind that there is a system 1 and system 2. So this is a mental language that the author talks about. I attempt to give a sense of complexity and richness of the automatic and often unconscious process that is intuitive thinking, and how those automatic processes explain the heuristic of judgment. A goal is a goal of this book to represent this book is that it is a language of thinking and talking about the mind. In this first part, the author talks about this, and part 2, that is based on the study of judgment, heuristics, and explores a major puzzle. Why it is so difficult us to think statistically? We all know that we find a problem when we think statistically. We easily think associatively, we think metamorphically, we think casually, but statistics creates a problem, and that requires a thinking about many things at once, which is something that system 1 is not designed to do. So, the difficulties of statistical thinking contribute to the main theme of part 3, where the author describes a puzzling limitation of our mind, how our mind works, what are the different difficulties we feel. So, how our excessive confidence in what we believe we know, and our apparent inability to acknowledge the full content of our ignorance and the uncertainty of the world we live in. So we are prone to overestimate. Sometimes we all feel that we overestimate things, how much we understand about the world, and to underestimate the role of change in event. So overconfidence is fed by the illusory certainty of hindsight. So according to the course, the author talks about the fourth part. Focusing on the fourth part is a conversation with the discipline of economics on the nature of decision making. We all get a problem in decisions. Our mind works in different extent, different kind of there is so many problems we felt, although, and on the assumption that economic agents are rational. The section of this book, this fourth section, provides a current view in form of two system model or key concept of prospect theory. So there is another fifth part, describe recent researches. The author describes it in recent researches that has introduced a distinction between two cells. We all have two cells. Our experiencing self, that is we are present in front of you, you are doing some stuffs, so that is the experiencing self, and one that has passed away, the remembering self, which is something that is going in our mind, that is our remembering self. So we have these two both have no same interests. For example, we can expose people to two painful experiences. One of these experiences strictly worse than the other experience because it is longer, but the automatic formation of memories, if either of system 1 has its rules, which we can use exploit which we can exploit so that the worst episode leaves a better memory. When people later choose what episode to repeat, they are naturally guided by their remembering self and expose themselves to unnecessary pain. We all feel that unnecessary pain because when someone talks about the moment, when someone asks us, how are you? We may tell them that I'm not happy because something is going in my mind, like someone talks to me badly, so I'm gonna revise that moment, that someone talks to me badly and I'm replying to you that I'm not happy. Wherever maybe I'm you are looking to me and I seems smiling, but that moment when someone talk to me and how are you, and I'm gonna reply I'm not happy, because that moment, that remembering self came and exposed themselves, and that unnecessary pain came into my mind. The distinction between two cells is applied to the measurement of well-being, where we find again that what makes the experiencing self happy is not quite as same as that satisfies the remembering self. So how two cells between being in a single body can pursue happiness reside being difficult questions for more individuals and for societies. The view that well-being of the population of policy objectives. So here is these this book is all about the five parts I have explained. So now I would like to create a situation like to observe your mind in an automatic mode. You experience there is a woman angrily looking at you. So you experience as you look at the woman's face seamlessly combines what we normally call seeing and intuitive thinking. As surely as quickly as you saw that the young woman's hair is dark, okay, you see, She is angry. Definitely, she is angry, looking at you with wide-eyed opens. Furthermore, what you are extended into future, you sense that this woman is about to say some very unkind words, probably in a loud and strident voice. A prenomination of what she was going to do came into your mind nextly, automatically and effortlessly, because her looks, we are seeing to her, and her looks are gonna tell this automatically and without any efforts. You did not intend to access her mind or her mood. You need not to anticipate what she might do, and your reaction to the picture did not have feel something you did. It just happened to you. There is no further pressure on your mind that you are going to tell that she is angry upon me because I have done some such wrong thing. But there is just, it just happened to you. It was an instant of fast thinking that her face telling us everything, that she is in a bad mood and she is going to say such harsh words which gonna hurt us. So another situation, there is this situation where your mind works effortlessly and replying to you such things that she gonna ask you some harsh words. There is another situation, that is there is a multiplication situation, 17 cross 24. You know immediately that there is a multiplication problem and probably knew that you could solve it, but with a paper and a pencil. The calculation you need to do is on a paper by a pencil, if not without. You would also have some vague intuitive knowledge of the range of possible results, that this is going to be the answer of this situation, multiplication problem. You would be quick to recognize that both uh, 1 to 3 and 12 6 or 9 is implausible, is not gonna easy to believe. Without spending some time on the problem on a paper, however, you would not be certain that the answer is gonna 568. The answer is not going to be 568. A precise solution did not come to your mind, and you felt that you could choose whether or not to engage in the computation. Like you need a paper and a pencil to solve that equation. You should attempt the multiplication problem now, completing a least part of it. You experience slow thinking. Here comes slow thinking. You experienced slow thinking as you proceeded through a sequence of steps. Like we all have read about it, that this is the multiplication problem, we are going to solve it like this way. So you first retrieved from the memory the cognitive program of multiplication, ki how we do multiplication step by step, that we learned in our school, that you implemented it. So carrying out the computation was a strain, mindful strain. You felt that the burden of holding such material in memory, and you needed to keep track of where you were and where you were going while holding on to implemented result. The process was mental work. We can understand that this is totally a mental work, deliberate, effortful, and orderly. Order by order we are going to do that. A prototype of slow thinking, we can understand that these kind of things need time, and this is a part of slow thinking. The computation was not only an event in your mind but on your body that was evolving it. Your muscles tensed up. We feel a kind of strain in our muscles, and that goes tensed up. Your blood pressure may rise and your heart rate may increase. So someone looking closely at your eyes while you tackle this problem would have seen your pupils dilate. So because we are feeling some kind of strain on our mind as well as our body, so your pupils contracted back to normal size as soon as you ended your work, your mental work, and you solve this problem. Your pupils may become into your um, may come into the normal size as you can ended your work when you found the answer, that which is 408, by the way, when you gave up. So this is the work of slow thinking and fast thinking came into place when we go through such kind of examples, when we go through such kind of situations into our life. So going into the next slide, Monica ma'am, please. So the author talks about decisions. When we are waking up early in the morning, we have to decide what we're gonna wear. And another situation, when we are going to any party, we are going to decide that what we're gonna wear, or any kind of gathering, we have to take decisions. So this is a decision column. Nextly, talking about system one, that is fast thinking, which we all get to know that this is quick, casual, and intuitive. Our fast thinking, we take quick decisions, casual decisions, while working, while doing any kind of work. And on the other side, there is system two, which is the slow thinking, which requires effort and mental calculation. We have to do some mental calculations so that this equation or this kind of thing may work out. If not talking about this, there may be created a bias goes to be in a heuristic mental shortcut. We all wants to solve this equation or any kind of problem, in a short period of time. So we all require a mental, we all go towards a mental shortcut. While going this may take time, or taking toward this mental shortcut, it may be occurs that the we may choose the wrong thing over the right thing. So nextly, number of and another situation where the number of civilians deaths per year due to violence. We all know that when we are planning to go to Jammu Kashmir, we think that number of civilians death per year due to violence are less than the number of death by road accidents in our place where we all are living. So this is known as availability bias, that we are calculating two different situations according to availability bias, that this thing is more worse than this thing. So our decisions are going to change according to availability bias. Or sometimes we want to go through news section, that our researches may go on. Is your decision based on research, on easily availability information, that someone told us that this is going to be okay, then we may decide according to, without going through the researches. On some time we go through researches on the specific topic, then we went, or we choose to decide that we are going to do this thing or not. Nextly, there is the thing is depends upon news, Facebook, Twitter, or social media. The number of civilians death per year due to violence is less than number of death by the road accidents. So we need to research on it. We need to work on our mental work. We need to research. We need to work on it. That how we gonna decide the things. There is another anchoring bias. The author is talking about anchoring bias. So what anchoring bias is? It is related to numbers that are that we compare numbers to get meaning. There is a situation, like think about the average cutoff in a test was 75 and your score was 50. So you are going to regret about that. I'm not going to pass this, I'm not going to achieve this target because I scored 50 and the cutoff went 75. So here you become depressed. But when you go through the toppers mark, that is 52, you are going to be happy, because there is a thing when firstly you are comparing your marks to the cutoff marks, and then on the other hand, when you go through the toppers mark, that is 52, you are going to be happy that there is not such a big difference in between your marks and the class topper marks. So these are the situation that came into our mind, and we are going to say that we have to decide according to situations. That is how our mind works. Next slide, please. Dr. Monica. Thank you so much. So again, such examples are here. Like there is a summer sale is going on. So when we are concentrating on a particular thing that we gonna purchase, there is a big difference on the money that on during sale. This dress is of 1800 and the original price is of 2500. So you are going to buy this dress because there is a big difference between the actual price and the sale price. So there is a calculation going in our mind when we are getting through this. So this works sometime, that this is a thing going in our mind, that we compare this prize money to the original prize money. So this is how our mind works. And again, another effect, the author talks about framing effect. What is framing effect? That our decision depends on how you frame questions. How you frame questions. So there is a certainty and loss risk questioning, that a man is asked that 90% of chance of survival by your disease is that you have chance of 90% chances of survival, and someone asked him that there is 10% chances of your death. As you can see, there is no such difference, he is gonna survive 90%ly, but that man is choosing 90% chances of survival. So chances in survival, we can see that these are same in both the situations, but the way we are asking him, we are telling him that these are the different ways, that how. But the mind of the person, the patient, works in a way that I want to survive, I am gonna survive by this disease because there is 90% chances of survival. So the mind thinks about in a certainty way, without that other side there is loss or risk like situation. That certainty way we choose, we prefer that I'm going to survive because there is 90% of survival. On the other hand, there is 10% chances of death. Both situations are same on one way, but our mind go towards the certainty chances. Another, there is an loss aversion theory. So what is loss aversion theory? The loss aversion means to convince someone, that how to convince someone and what are the ways to convince someone. Like uh, a man is badly smoking, he is using cigarette 10, 15, 20 without measuring anything, that he is suffering from such kind of things or any kind of symptoms. So how we are going to convince him that he should leave cigarette smoking? So there is two things, that we are going to ask him that if you stop cigarette smoking, then the money you gain are going to save and grow some more money and use that money to get more money. So another thing, we are going to tell him about the loss, that you are going to suffer from lung cancer or high medical, that lung cancer or high medical conditionings, and you may cost more money, and you may lead to death to cure this lung cancer, or either way you may lead to death. So that person is not thinking about the gain, save money, grow money. He is going to think about the loss, lung cancer. So talking about the loss, he may think that I should leave cigarette smoking, and that may works in one way, but he doesn't think about the gain, grow money. He is going to think about loss, that I'm gonna suffered from lung cancer or high medical conditioning or any more lung disease, or it may cost me more money, and I may suffer from death and may leads to that. So this is a way to convince someone by talking about loss aversion, that loss is bigger than your gain. So what you are going to lose, that is impervated. So nextly, there is a story I'm going to tell you, that when we are in other country, when we are in other country, we are new at that place. So if we find someone that is of our same country or same caste religion, we are going to believe that guy, in spite of the person living there peacefully and educated person. So because these things convince us more, because the man of our country, we are going to believe him because our mind works in that way. Our mind thinks that he is believable, and in spite of that person who is living on that place, who is from that place. So this is our mind, how it works. There is an endowment effect, that we overvalue what we know we own. Like we have a car and we are going to sell at 4 lakh price, but other person at market, they are going to bought at 2 to 3 lakh price. So we overvalue what we own. Like this car, it has a mind and emotional, mindful and emotionally attachment to that car. So we overvalue what we own. So this person overvalue his car and he wants more money for what he owns. So our emotions, the thing come from this example is that our emotions mindfully increase, emotions and mind increase the value emotionally and financially of the thing we own. So this is a endowment effect. Another thing, that is anchoring bias experiment. So you can see that there is a bunch of students, two groups, they are divided into two groups, and you are going to ask them that height of the mango tree you see is greater or lesser than 200 feet. There is one group, you are going to ask them this question, and there is another group, you are going to ask them the height of mango tree is greater than or lesser than 50 feet. So you are going to then you are going to ask them these questions. So you concluded that also these questions, the student may not know the height of mango tree, but they are going to say that less than 200 feet, average guess 150 feet, and the other group say that more than 50 feet, average guess 100 feet. So you are going to know that these students are working appropriately towards the number you have given them, 200 feet or 50 feet, lesser or more than 50 feet. So these, and so that's how their mind works. This is an anchoring bias experiment, that they are going to reply according to the frame you have maintained, that the height of that mango tree is 200 feet, so they are going to reply around 150 feet. And other group that is also the same, 50 feet, this is that more than 50 feet or average guess 100 feet. So this is how our mind works. Again, one more thing, that fast thinking is right without any bias. If there is no bias, then we can say that fast thinking is right. But when fast thinking, when that any bias is present, then slow thinking may affect more. We have to work slowly to we have to give time to our mind. That's how it works. So coming up on next thing, system 1 and system 2, how it works. So system 1, that is operates automatically, we concluded upon it that it works or operates automatically and quickly with little or no efforts. We are going to decide things quickly. It is our gut reaction, how we read expressions. As we all know that someone is looking at our side, he's gonna smile, we are going to smile at him. So we read expressions flawlessly, react to sounds. Something is coming towards us, the sound is coming, the music sound. If we know that music sound, we are going to sing that song, and the colors we see and the images. So this is the system 1 that works. Our immediate intuitions about problems, that this problem is going to solve this way and that problem is going to solve that way. So these are immediate intuitions about problems. So the system 1 is not prone to doubts. We are going just through it. We are not going to take time through this, because this is automatic thing that is coming into our mind. And talking about system 2, so please change the slide. System 2, that is a slower and reason based approach. It works on things like how I'm going to create the situation, like how this is happening to me, how I am going to solve this. So, this is a step by step thing. It has a natural speed. It is slower and reason based approach. Considers evidence. It won't evidence that what is the real thing, and questions and assumptions, how these are things and going, how these things are working, and assumptions, the most important assumptions, how we are going to assume things, and that way this is going to work. Responsible for socially appropriate behaviors, that what actually is going on, appropriate behaviors that is occurring to us, we are responsible for that. We are going to decide things, then we are going to work on it. That concluded way can contain conflicting ideas at one time. We may conclude ideas and conflict, there is conflict between them, so it can contain conflicting ideas at one time. System 2, there is a nice note about system 2, that if our system 2 is engaged, we will basically believe anything. Because if system 2 is engaged in any kind of work, obviously the thing is going to system 1, and system 1 is working fast, so we are going to believe anything that is coming to us. Though that's about system 1 and system 2. This book is all about our mind, that assuming system 1 working and another working of system 2. So system 2 is also has a natural speed. You expend some mental energy on random thoughts and in monitoring what goes on around you, even when your mind does nothing in particular, but there is a little strain. Obviously you feel a little strain on your mind, unless you are in a situation that makes you unusually or self-conscious. Monitoring what happens in the environment or inside your head demands little effort. Obviously that demands little effort, because here is the system too. You make many small decisions as you drive your car. We all know that when we are driving a car, we need to decide something. Small decisions. Observe some information as you read the newspaper, and conduct routine exchanges of pleasantries with a colleague or spouse, and all with little effort and no strain. So, just like a stroll, it is normally easy and actually quite pleasant to walk and think at the same moment. Think like a situation, you are walking and walking, then you actually is doing is that you are thinking at the same time while you are walking. So but extreme these activities appear to compete for the limited resources of system 2. You can confirm this claim by a simple experiment. So while working comfortably with a friend, ask him to compute 23 crore 78 in his mind. You are going to ask him that please calculate the situation, the thing 23 cross 78 in your head, and to do so immediately. So he will almost certainly stop walking in his tracks. My experience is that uh, I can think what's strolling, but cannot engage in mental work that imposes a heavy load on short-term memory. So if I must construct a argument under time pressure, I would rather be still. I would preferring sitting to standing, because we are going to avoid that mental strain. Of course, not all slow thinking requires that form of intense concentration and effortful computation, but some of the thinking require that intenseful concentration and effortful computation. So this is all about fast thinking, slow thinking, the busy and depleted system too. The R system too is busy and depleted. So imagine that you are asked to retain a list of 7 digits for a minute or two. I'm going to ask you that please retain this 7 digit number into your mind. So while you are doing, your system 2 is busy retaining that digit into your mind, you are told that remembering the digit in your is your top priority. While your attention is focused on the digit, you are offered a choice between two desserts. That is a sinful chocolate cake and a vicious fruit salad. So the evidence suggests that you would be more likely to select the chocolate cake when your mind is loaded with that digit number. So the system 1 has more influence or behavior when system 2 is busy and it has a sweet tooth. So that's how it works. Another situation that people who are cognitively busy are also more likely to make selfish choices, use and make superficial judgment in social situation. Memorizing and repeating digit loosens the hold of system 2 on behavior. But of course, so cognitive load is not the only cause of weakened self-control. A few drinks have the same effect as does a sleepless nights. The self control of morning people is impaired at night. The reverse is true for night people, that their self control is impaired at day. Too much concern about how well one is doing in a task sometimes disrupts the performance by loading short term memory with pointless anxious thoughts. The conclusion is straightforward that the all of the situation that I have created, the conclusion is that self control requires attention and effort, both attention and effort. Another way of saying that is controlling thought of behavior is one of the tasks that system 2 performs. That we have asked to control our thoughts. That is a work of system 2. System 2 performs that work. A series of surprising experiments by psychologists and his colleagues had shown conclusively that all variant of voluntary effort, that is cognitive, emotional, or physical, draw at least partially on a shared pool of mental energy. Their experiment involves successive rather than the simultaneous task. So this is how the busy and depleted system 2 works. So in this context, we have talked about this fast thinking and slow thinking. So what fast thinking is? It is unconscious, emotional, and instinctive. It results in snap judgment and sometimes prejudice. So that's how our fast thinking works. Please go to the next slide, Monica. Another thing that is slow thinking, what is most of us would consider actual thoughts going into our mind are processingly in a variant way, like orderly. It is conscious, deliberative, and most rational. It is more logical. So when we work on something that is more logical, that's actually looks more logical because we are working on it. So this is slow thinking. There is another thing about the system 2, that the system 2 that is working logically is the lazy system. One of the main function of system 2 is monitor and control thoughts and actions and suggested by the system 1, allowing some to be expressed directly in behavior and suppressing of modifying others. So this is how the lazy system 2 works in orderly. In this book the author talks about thinking about the life. So he has some good points or good examples about speaking of thinking about life. So thinking about life, like there is a girl, she thought that buying a fancy car can would make her happier, but it turned out to be an error of effective forecasting. This is not going to make her happier because some unhappy thing is going into her mind that someone reminds, and that remembering self works here. And another man, his car broke down on the way to work his morning and he is in a full mood. So this is not a good day to ask him about his job satisfaction. So this is how our mind thinks. So there is a girl, she looks like cheerful most of the time. But when she is asked, she said she is very unhappy. The question must make her think of a recent divorce. So the thing reminds her that she is getting divorced. So that makes her unhappy. Maybe when we are looking at her, she looks happy, cheerful most of the time, but when the situation came onto her mind, she is going to reply, I'm not happy, I'm very unhappy. So these are the different situations. Like buying a larger house may not make us happier in the long term. Suffering from a focusing illusion that would be may be possible. So he has chosen to split his time between two cities, probably a serious case of mismounting. So these are the things, speaking of thinking about the life, came take place here. So the author, as we can see that the author has introduced two fictitious characters, spent some time discussing two species, and anotherly he talks about two selves, like remembering self and experiencing self. So these are the things. The two character were the intuitive system one, what does the fast thinking, and the effortful and slower system two, what does the slow thinking. So this is how it's going to work. And maintain control as best it can be as limited resources. The two species were the fictitious icons who lives in the land of theory and the humans who act in the real world. We all know that we are working on the real world, acting on the real world. So the two cells are the experiencing self, which does the living, and remembering self, which keeps course and make the choices. Like we have to decide between the thing happening to us and the thing that has passed. So we are going to memorize the thing that has passed. So these two cells, the author talks about the experiencing self and remembering self. The experiencing self is that one that is experiencing that emotional state in that moment. In present moment we are experiencing things to us, like I am reading that way and you are listening that way. That is our experiencing self. What we does, does the living do? So next is the remembering self, the memory of the experienced moment, which keeps score and make the choices according to the situations. So there are, these are the two cells. The possibility of conflict between the remembering self and the interest of the experiencing self may turned out to be a harder problem that I initially thought. In an early experiment, these things are going to work in that way. So the author talks about these things. Please change the slide, Monica. So talking about the conclusion of this book. So let me conclude this book that thinking fast and slow, the book has described the working of the mind as an uneasy interaction between two fictitious characters, the automatic system 1 and the effortful system 2, and how they might respond in different situations. So this book you have went through lot of things. So how two system in your brain are constantly fighting over control of your behavior and actions, and can teaches you the many ways in which you are leads to error in memory and judgment and decision, and what you can do about it. So the main thing what I learned from thinking fast and slow is that situations and experiences change, but the human value is constant. Change the slide, please. There is a good saying I got through this. Daniel Kahneman says that the easiest way to increase happiness is to control your use of time. You have to control your use of time. Can you find more time to do the things you enjoy doing? So we are going to find the new ways, new time to enjoy other things that we are missing. So the easiest way to increase our happiness is we need to control our time, use of time. So that's what I go went. And Daniel Kahneman's good thoughts. There are so many things that are beside these are also present. So thank you so much for today. I really appreciate your patience hearing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Monica.
So thank you so much, Dr. Anu Bangarwa, for sharing this wonderful book. I never thought before this, I never thought about like thinking in this thinking manner, like fast and slow. So many things I loved about this book and today's explanation. So few things I want to tell you that I loved the most was two selves. One was our experiencing self, and second one is the remembering self. These two things revolves around our life in such a manner in um, day to day we are doing so many things, and we come to these things like what we create a situation, like you have said many situations where we um, do fast thinking, then we immediately take action for that. And when we do slow thinking, we calm ourselves, then we think about it more, that whether should I do this thing or that thing. So that was wonderful. And the another thing I love the most, that how the surrounding changes our thinking. You want surrounding to affect yourself, or you want yourself to be calm and composed to to say something. You need to thought something in your mind before you saying somebody some words. So we just react to situations, like when you said that the woman is looking at me strangely. So that creates a situation in our mind, and we thought that the women will speak some harsh words to us. Maybe she will be feeling like, oh my god, she's looking so pretty. So that could be a thought in her mind. We don't know that, but we create a situation or a illusion in our mind that maybe she thinking bad about me. So these all things are about our thinking, like whether we think fast and slow. And so does it happen in our spirituality world. Like when we before coming to meditation, I also used to think much about something or some situations. But after coming to meditation, it getting me a relief and a calmness. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, no situation can define me. What defined me is myself. What I wanted to create a situation, what situation is giving me or teaching me, that's not important. What's important is what I wanted to learn from that situation, or what I wanted to tell the people, like, please calm yourself, calm, because nothing is there is a no word like pressure in this whole world. Everybody is telling me like, have some pressure about studies or something. So don't take pressure. Nothing is pressure, or this word is creating a misery in your life. So just be happy. So now I like to welcome Dr. Khyati ma'am to please share some views of yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anu, and thank you so much, Dr. Monica, for explaining such a beautiful book and the concept of thinking. Wow, it really explained me so well. Two systems, fast and slow, both are in our mind, both are in our brain, and they work. One is just acting, do, and another is just effort, making effort, thinking, slowly working, be. Basically, it should be the mixture. We actually have to think like a balanced do, be. That's something that's a phrase from the book, from the words of Dr. Amit Goswami sir. And really, it really enlightened me about the fact of this do be concept, that we have to think subtly. We don't have to take pressures immediately. We don't have to rush to the things. We have to think logically, stay in any situation, stay calm, and then take action. Also, I would like to say something about from the book of Dr. Amit Goswami, that our thoughts are the mode of movements of mind. So these thoughts makes our mind, makes our personality, and these thoughts, what thoughts I am having, no one else can have that thought at that time in a same identical manner. My thoughts are private, your thoughts are private. They are experienced as awareness, as internal, in awareness as internals. They cannot be just like, yes, if I am having any kind of thought, same identical thought will come up into the Anu's mind. It can be nearly same, but it cannot be identical. So that's such a beautiful thing you explained. And that's why what kind of thing we interpret from our thoughts makes our that becomes comes from the choosing power. How we choose through what? From our creativity. What is creativity? Developing, discovering something new. And when we just keep on thinking from the old perspectives, past experiences, that remembering self, then we end up doing nothing. Not our behavior doesn't change. We just keep on living into the same thinking patterns, and no creativity will come. No new thing will occur in our life. Only the same thing will be there. But if we if we find something new, creativity from the new context, that's the fundamental creativity. And we have to, it's complete transformation. We can change ourselves from our thought, only from our thought, if we just change it once. And situational creativity, from the old context only, we find something new that brings about a little change in that situation. It can bring. And I think it's very good if we start doing from the situational creativity and leave our ego self or conditioning. So it's thank you so much, and Dr. Anu, for such a beautiful book. Also, I would like to share some of the Patriji's quotes, that he says that as soon as a disastrous thought arises in mind, it should be snubbed off immediately. We should continuously sweep our minds off of all disastrous thoughts. All disastrous thoughts in our life are happening solely because of our own disastrous thinking patterns. And when we say the disastrous thinking patterns, we say from the conditioning concepts. So we have to change our thinking patterns. And the next thought of Patri sir is so beautiful, that consciousness is fundamental verity. Thought is the function of consciousness, and energy is the product of thought. And finally, matter is crystallization of energy. So what we have as a physical perspective, what we have in my surroundings as a physical, that all is because of the consciousness that arises to the thought, and what thought has came into my energy. Thank you so much for that. And now I would like to tell you all about the quantum life, that we will be introducing our quantum life concept from the coming new year, in which we all will be explaining you about the quantum kitchen concept, and about the use of pyramids in our homes as well as in our kitchens, and also about the Ayurveda principles for a healthy lifestyle, healthy life, and a happy life. Also, these two will be collaboratively explained under the concepts of quantum physics, how quantum physics delves into the pyramids and the Ayurveda principles. So please stay tuned, and in the coming new year, you all will be enlightened by this. Thank you so much. Now I would like to explain about the swag movement. Swag movement, SWAGG, Save Water and Go Green. It is a global initiative by Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement, whose mission is to improve the environmental quality and condition of our Mother Earth by partnering with community and group leaders and aspiring environmentalists to work together to create a clean and green planet to live for ourselves and our future generations. So save water and go green. If you want to be a swag warrior, please email us at parinitha at the rate pssmglobal.org, parinita at the rate pssmglobal.org, to participate in this great endeavor. Along with this, PSSMM has also announced a swag anthem music composing contest, in which you will have to compose and voice an energy-filled, catchy number for swag anthem in English. And theme of the song should resonate the respect and conservation of Mother Nature, and a responsibility towards nature, and pledging to save water and go green. This contest has already been started from 1st December 2020 and will be ending on 31st December 2020. Winners will be announced on 10th January 2021. Winners will get this winning certificate, a surprise gift, and a winning certificate signed by Brahmarishi Pitaba Patriji itself. And the song will be adapted for further swag activities. So please send us your entries at pssm.swagg@gmail.com, pssm.swag@gmail.com. Now, I would like to request Sumit sir to please play Patri sir's message regarding swag movement.
our PH system has started a new program called as SWAG. It means save water and go green. S for save, W for water, G for go, and another G for green. Save water and go green, my dear friends. We should not waste water. We should always be very, very careful in conserving our water resources. Let us not waste a drop of water. Every drop of water should be utilized properly. Every drop of water should be used for in the best possible way. If you are wasting water, then you are contributing to the poverty of the nation. If you are conserving water, every drop of water, you are conserving the nature and you are making the nature prosper. We have to conserve water. Whenever you are seeing an open tap, please close it. Let not the water go waste. This is called as save water. And then go green, plant trees. Everybody should plant trees. That is the most important activity for a man, for a human being, to plant trees. We want a very green planet, not a dry planet. And for plants, water is required. If there is no water, there is no greenery, there are no plants. These are the two important activities for a human being. You have to save water and you must see that everything is green. You must plant trees. While we are enjoying the trees planted by others, we should also plant trees. Everybody is forgetting this point and they are not planting trees at all. Why can't you plant trees? Why are you not aware of that fact, that you must plant trees every day? And always, every minute you must be aware of wasting water, and you must never waste water. Water is a very, very precious commodity. It is a divine commodity. And if you plant a tree, plant a seed, sow a seed, you are making it green. So, this is the movement called as SWAG. It means save water and go green. I like everybody to say save water, and go green. Please repeat. Save water and go green. Again. Save water and go green. SWAG. What is SWAG? Save water and go green. Again. Save water and go green. Again. Save water and go green. Like this. Save water and go green. How many points? 2 points. What are the 2 points? Save water and go green. How many points? 2 points. What are those points? Save water and go green. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Thank you so much, Sumit sir. Now, Anu will guide us for the meditation for next 5 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. So, I want you all to just be seated at a place in a proper manner. First of all, who are wearing specs, please remove your specs, as I am also wearing specs. So, this is the first step. So, doing meditation, this is as simple as anything else. So, we are going to work on a simple manner. We are going to close our eyes. So, all of you, please close your eyes. After that, concentrate on your breath. Work on the breath. The breath is coming in, going out. So we have to just concentrate on our breath. this is going to provide us a mental peace. So breath in, breath out. I'm going to count on 10 to 0. So the same process going on. Breath in, breath out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. In the same way, we need to concentrate on our breath. So going 0 to 10 again. Breath in, breath out. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now just rub your hands and keep your palm onto your eyes on a properly order. Now open your eyes wisely. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. ANNU BANGARWA. Thank you, Khyati ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for joining with us. Thank you, PSSM family, PMC UK, PMC US, PMC Malaysia, and PMC Haryanvi. So thank you all for joining with us. So tomorrow we on the same time we have a new speaker with us, and a new book and a new journey will start again on the same time on the next day. So please join with us tomorrow also. So thank you so much.